I finished Sex and the City. Let's talk about it. So, Sex and the City is one of my favorite shows. I love it more than Girlfriends, which I mentioned. I like that show too. I know that Girlfriends is black woman representation, but Sex and the City, I shouldn't compare the two, but it's just better. It's just written better. It's just totally better. But Girlfriends is kind of based off of a sitcom. So sitcom, if you know anything about sitcoms, it's supposed to be ridiculous and stuff and unrealistic and stuff, so whatever. But Sex and the City's it was on HBO, so Sex and the City is a very, very well written show. It's just a really mature, nice, amazing show. Like, more than just four women being fabulous, it's just simply a good show. Like, it's written very well, it's very realistic, and it's just about real things that women go through. And there's a lot of moments in the show where I laughed, cried, just felt relatable to what certain people were going through. And I thought that was really, really cool. I finally finished it, and I might do little reviews on my channel from time to time about shows that I watch or movies, things like that. So that's a new segment we're gonna start incorporating on this channel. So this is not gonna be like your average review. It's just gonna be me talking, just girl talk. We're just talking, you know. So watching the last episode definitely was a tearjerker, especially at the end, just because of the way they left things. It was just very beautiful how they just ended everything. It was probably one of the best show endings I've seen in a little bit. I mean, I haven't watched that many shows, so don't quote me on that. Like, I know there's probably shows that have way better endings or something, but it just was such a nice, fulfilling, happy ending. I don't know. Versus some shows just totally just get canceled. You know, don't cut your hair.
Why?
Don't.
Why?
Because I said don't do it. Give me the scissors. So basically, the last two episodes, Carrie went to Paris with her boyfriend. I've totally forgot his name now. Alexander Stravosky, or whatever his name is. She called him the Russian. It's so funny how Carrie has nicknames for men, like Big, and then who's the other dude? Burger, and now the Russian. Like, I thought that was so funny. Like, how you just giving the men you date full-blown nicknames? Like, they didn't even ask for these nicknames. She's just a nickname type of person, you know. And I thought that Alexander was an amazing guy. When we first were introduced to him in season 6, I'm like, out of all the men that Carrie has dated, he was like wildly the best one, you know. And I really liked them together. I really liked him. He's really cool. He's like a artist and all this and all that. He had a lot of money. He's very classy. Just so many things I love about him. He's foreign, like, just so many things. He's an amazing guy. But I mean, I'm gonna just tell spoilers. If you don't want to hear spoilers, then don't watch this, because I'm just gonna say a few spoilers. I'm not here to really say a lot, but once again, if a show is really old or whatever, like, it's like, listen, at this point, I don't know. I don't mind watching spoilers about stuff, because it just gives me something to look forward to. Like, I don't care about me personally, you know, when someone tells me spoilers about something. But anyway, but it didn't work out because he was too busy for her. You know, when you're dating a high value man, he can be very busy, okay? And me personally, I would be like, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. But I will say, he did slap her in the face, and I was like, okay, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, I was dumbfounded when he did that. I was like, wow, like, he actually did that. Like, okay, yeah, it's time to break up. It's time to, it's time to move on. Like, even though he was a great man, he kind of had his little issues, and I'm not going to even get into that because there's so much to talk about. So in a nutshell, Carrie is a 6 out of 10 for me. She's not my favorite character on the show because she's probably my least favorite character, actually, because she's just very selfish, very, very self-centered. Like, and that's something that really kind of like got on my nerves at different points in time. But once again, I'm not really going to give too much examples. I'm just kind of giving a general idea because it took me a long time to watch this show because I really wanted to marinate. So I probably watched this show over a course of a couple of months. So some things I may not remember as much. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna maybe touch back on Carrie, but that's the main thing I would say is just Carrie's just very self-centered. Everything is about her and what she's going through, and like, I don't know, like everybody else be going through way more deeper, crazier stuff than she does, and it's just like, it's still just all about her or whatever. Even when it came to her moving to Paris, it's like, you really gonna move way to Paris with a guy that you've known for like a little bit, and y'all maybe a few months, right? Some guy you're dating, and you're literally just gonna move to Paris. Not just gonna stay for a little bit. You know, maybe I'll just stay for a little bit. No, you're gonna literally move just to have a breakup. I was like, she gonna be back. She'll be back. Because they're just gonna have a breakup, they're just gonna have a fight, they're just gonna break up, and then what? You gonna stay there then? You gonna stay there? And you know, it was really cool of Big to be there for her at the end. Even though Big is just, he kind of reminds me of my dad. I'm not gonna lie, my dad that passed away, he kind of reminds me of him in a little bit, but I'm not gonna get into that. But other than that, I just kind of say like, he is something else. Like, Big is something else. He's obviously a reoccurring character who appeared since the beginning, and he was there since the end, and he's just gonna always be there. I know that Sex and the City has movies and they have a new series out, and it's just like, he's always there or whatever. So whatever. Okay, let's move into Miranda. You know, at first I really did not like Miranda. At first, I just don't like that kind of personality. She's very cold. They call it, she was always referred to as cynical in the show. She's just very like straightforward, so like pessimistic and all this stuff, nihilistic and all this stuff. Like, so at first I really didn't like her because it's just giving, I don't even know. I don't want to say what I really want to say, but at first I really didn't like her. But the character development that she went through was really wonderful. You know, between her having a baby and being the only one in the friend group who had a baby, and you know, they are older, so it wasn't like she was just like 21 and pregnant. You know, she was older and ready. She was older and mature, and you know, she was in a good place to do that, so it made sense, you know. But it was very difficult for her to go through that, and it was just very interesting to see she was the only one with the baby at the time out of all her friends, you know. And so that was like really cool, and I could relate to that because I'm like, I have kids, and you know, I went through it's crazy how even when you have your life together, you still relate to, you know, me being like 24 or me being 21, having my first kid and stuff, and like just the certain struggles that I went through, I could relate to Miranda. Hold on, my mom's calling. So let me do this quickly because my mom's gonna need me in a minute. But yes, I love what Miranda went through, and you know, she went through some very unconventional things that I may not agree with. Just her and Steve in general, but that was the father of her children, so I will never really fault somebody for wanting to make things work with the father of their children, even myself included, even if he may not be your dream man and all this and all that. Sometimes it's good to have that family unit. And here's the thing. What job did Steve have at the end? Was he just a house husband? Cause baby, I don't care if I'm a lawyer and I don't care if you used to be a bartender. You know what? He owned a restaurant. He co-owned a restaurant with Aiden. So I think he might still have that going. Cause I'm like, did he just end up being a house husband? Like, what happened to his job? But anyway, Steve is kind of, he's like ugly cute. You know what I'm saying? He's like kind of, okay, Steve, there's some really sexy moments with Steve. Like, even to the fact that where Steve just be butt naked. There's a lot of nakedness in the show, even men included. And, Steve, I feel like I probably could have got a glimpse of his. But there was a scene where he was laying down in bed naked reading a book, and I was like, Steve kind of, hold up, he's like this nerdish kind of guy, but he kind of, I see you, Miranda. I see what you're trying to do, because Steve okay. But yeah, and then what's really surprising is Samantha and her boyfriend at the end of the show. Because Samantha was always, just use men for sex. All I care about is sex. And that was annoying for a long time for me. I ain't even gonna lie to you. She was my least favorite character just because of that. Because all that mattered to her was sex. Like, that's all she would talk about. All she wanted from men. But even Samantha went through a crazy transition towards literally like the last season, with her getting with this younger guy, and he ended up being such an amazing man. Like, the fact that he's young and like gorgeous. He's giving sexy Kurt Cobain. Like, he was gorgeous. He had literally everything going for him. A banging career, a banging body, a beautiful face. Everybody wanted this man. And all he wanted was Samantha. That is just unrealistic, but amazing. Really amazing. And the thing is, Samantha was there for him when nobody else was. When he was struggling and stuff, she was there for him. So, it's good to see a man actually appreciate that, because some men, you build them up and then they out the door once they become something. But I thought that was really admirable that he stayed with Samantha, not only just in general, but the fact that Samantha got cancer and he still stayed with her. Like, and even Samantha was just like, listen, when you go film a movie, you can literally go have sex with someone else if you want to. Like, you literally don't have to be loyal to me. Like, she was just kind of saying, like, I understand, like, you can date other people, you can have sex with other people, I understand, like, you're that guy. Like, but he was like, nah. Like, even when Samantha cheated on him, she cheated on him with her ex right in front of his face, and she came back down that elevator and he was right there to come rescue her. Like, where do you meet guys like that? Like, honestly, where do you meet a guy like that? And how does he have a brother, a cousin that looks just like him? Like, how need a guy like him in my life? Period, point. Gorgeous and loves you unconditionally. It cannot get any better than that. Anyway, let's move on to Charlotte. Is that her name? Okay, Samantha, Miranda, Charlotte, who is my favorite character. I love Charlotte because she's very classy. She is very sweet, has such a very kind soul, but she's very classy, very beautiful. She just very feminine. I love her character. I'm in love with what she added to the show. She's my favorite character. But unfortunately, I feel like she went through the worst out of everybody. I mean, besides Samantha getting cancer. Because if you want to say that, Samantha getting cancer, that actually was the worst thing possible. But you know, I think it was really sad, you know, that Charlotte, all she ever wanted was love, and all she ever wanted was children. That's all she wanted through this whole entire show. You know what I'm saying? She's not trying to use men and do this and do that, and she's not, oh, I don't know what I want. And she knew what she wanted, and she got done so dirty, you know what I'm saying, with the kids situation. But she always wanted love. Married the doctor, it didn't work out. That sucked. Found another guy, a lawyer. Now, one thing about Charlotte, she's gonna be with a high value man. She's gonna be with a man that makes a lot of money, period. She just is, like, so goals. One thing about Charlotte, she gonna be with a high value man. And then, even though the lawyer guy isn't necessarily that attractive, he's a lawyer and he has money, so he's a good man. So, and he's not ugly by any means. He's not ugly. He's just average. So it's a win to me. It's definitely a win situation. He's a good man. So, you know, so, yeah, it's crazy because I always thought that Charlotte and him had twins. Like, I remember watching the show when I was younger, but I never watched the show fully through. I just saw random episodes here and there, and I could have swore Charlotte and her second husband had twins. I was always looking out for that. I was like, well, why? I thought she had twins. That must be a Mandela effect. I don't know if anybody remembers that as well, or maybe I'm tripping. I could very much so be tripping. And I also feel like another Mandela effect is Miranda's baby being named Brady. I thought his name was something else this whole time, but his name was Brady. I'm just like, maybe I don't remember that, but whatever. I always thought that was a joke. Like, she gonna rename him to something else? It just was Brady, and it never changed. Like, I'm like, okay, well, okay. But I don't know. I just feel bad for Charlotte and everything she had to go through. It's just so sad because all she ever wanted was love and kids. And she never was able. She just went through so much and had such a wonderful spirit throughout everything. And she never gave up on having kids. Like, I don't know. And like someone like Carrie, there was only one episode where she thought about, maybe I want kids. I don't know. Like, there was just one episode. Other than that, she's just like, I love my life. Like, kids was never on her mind, never on her radar, you know. So I thought, like, oh, they're gonna do something with that, like Carrie wanting to have kids. Well, I guess that never happens, you know. Like, I don't know. Carrie's boyfriends, you know, Aiden, I felt like Aiden was too good for Carrie, to be completely honest with you. Even the fact that he wanted to marry her, that really bothered me so bad. I'm like, you have a man begging to marry you. You have a man begging to marry you. And you're just like, well, I don't know if I want to get married. I just don't know what I want. And it's just like, oh my God, the way I would marry that man with the quickness. He's gorgeous. He's masculine. He is a business owner. He's a good man. Like, he took you back after you cheated on him. Where are they meeting these men? Now, some of the men were absolute trash. Don't get me wrong. Some of the men were absolute trash. Like Samantha's boyfriend that she had, where they flew in his private jet to, I think it was Las Vegas or something. They went to a casino in his private jet, and he also had a house, like a property in the Hamptons or something. So he had a lot of money, but he was just a cheater. Like, that just was his thing. Even when him and Samantha decided to be exclusive, he just could not be faithful. Like, I think it really was just the fact that she just couldn't trust him. She just couldn't, because she was so used to, she caught him cheating on her once. She couldn't trust him anymore. And I get that. Like, she was just like, I'm going crazy about this, and honestly, I don't want to live like this. And I feel you. Even though, like, the man has so much money, I kind of would look the other way. But maybe I shouldn't feel that way. I just want a high value. I want a rich man so bad. I want a man with money so bad. I would be willing to overlook cheating. Like, oh, I didn't see anything, but hand me that credit card. Give me that credit card, but I didn't see anything. Okay, let me borrow the jet for the weekend. Let me go to that property in the Hamptons. You know, you're gonna have to pay for it, but I can excuse a little cheating here, just a little cheating. I can excuse it. But anyway, if y'all think I'm playing, like, I'm absolutely not playing. Like, send me a man with money and I will know what to do. Okay? Anyway, so I don't know. I mean, but yeah, Aiden was a good man. Carrie wasn't ready for him. She did him so dirty, and I'm glad he moved on to somebody better. He got married and had a baby and just lived his life, and I'm so happy for him, because he didn't deserve Carrie's indecisiveness. And I think deep down inside, Carrie just didn't want him like that. You're willing to move to Paris with another guy, but you ain't willing to get married to another guy. Like, make it make sense. But you just didn't want him like that. Like, you just wanted to waste his time and be in a relationship with him. You just liked what y'all had, but when it came to making something serious, like, you just didn't want to do that. So whatever, let this man flourish with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't take him long to get married and have a baby with someone else. It did not take him long to do that. It's kind of like with Big getting married to Natasha at the time, when he was stringing Carrie along for like years or whatever, but he just immediately like got married to this Natasha girl, which was just like, you almost kind of wonder if Carrie and Big didn't have an affair and ruin Big's marriage to Natasha, would he have actually took her seriously and actually would have been a good husband to her? Maybe not a good husband, but maybe, you know, would he actually would have tried to actually be a husband to Natasha? Like, I don't know, but people talked about that so much on social media, like, you know, a man only will marry whenever he's ready to marry, or, you know, he'll waste your time dating you for, you know, years, and then he'll run off to the next woman and marry her in a heartbeat. Listen, but here, side note, I love Natasha. Like, I know she was not meant to be a lovable character, but I love her. She's beautiful. She's fabulous. She worked at some type of designer. I think it was Ralph Lauren or something. She worked at some type of designer. She was cool. She got married. She wanted a husband. I mean, we don't know much about her, but the little bit I saw about her, I'm like, I like Natasha. I like her. So, yeah. And then Berger, Carrie's other boyfriend, I never liked him from the start. It was giving coward. It was giving insecure. Insecure was just always his thing. He just was always too insecure. You can't be with the insecure man. Just leave them where they're at. He was insecure from the start. Leave him where he's at, you know. And then Big, you know, once again, you know, he has money, but I don't know, he just played too many games. But I kind of like it, though. I kind of see why she kind of like him, because he's funny and he's fun, and I don't know, he just has a what's the word, a lighthearted spirit to him in a way. So I kind of do like that. Like, she can really be herself around him, because she's a very jokey, sarcastic type of person. She's kind of has a sense of humor, and a lot of her boyfriends just was not that. But with Big, she can be that. With Big, I felt like he was a reoccurring character because they were so similar, because they're almost like twin flames in a way. Like, they're so similar, you know. So I kind of get that, but you know, whatever. Like, you really should not have some guy just coming in and out of your life like that. But she can, you know, she ain't got no kids. Like, it really don't matter. But I don't really know what else I have to say about the show other than the fact that it just was amazing writing and had a really top tier music, very good music for a series, probably the best music in a series that I would say ever. But yeah, because really good music. But other than that, like, it really captures the essence of New York so much. Definitely makes someone want to not only visit New York but live in New York, even though I know New York isn't necessarily what Sex and the City is. But Sex and the City, you gotta understand, it's based in Manhattan, and it's also just based in the early 2000s, you know, pretty much, and just the 2000s when life was great, you know. So I'm not saying New York is ran down, especially not Manhattan, but hell, I've never been to New York, but from what I know, people say that New York is ran down, so, you know. But definitely makes me want to go to Manhattan more than anything. Like, I don't know how else to go about that, you know. Like, it is very, like, fabulous and cool, and definitely a show I would rewatch. And I definitely am gonna watch the movie today, like tonight. That's my plans, is just to watch the movie. I think they have 2 movies, and then they also have a series that they just started, so like a relaunch series or whatever. So although I'm sad to see the show end, I am happy that there's still more to watch. So, but what do you guys think? Have any of you guys ever seen Sex and the City? What do you agree? Do you agree or disagree with any of the things I mentioned? Let's hear the discussions, and yeah.